Me and Stanley, aka Stack Williams, were out. We were in the field discussing all types of ideas and how we want to do this and how we want to do that. And little did I know, this brother had already had a plan he was devising. He had created the blueprint for Supreme far before I even knew myself.
Identifying specific barriers and trying to implement strategies to eradicate those barriers.
The blueprint came about 2012, late spring, early summer, when Stack would contact me and say, listen, I've been working on something, and now that I'm finished with my schooling, I'm ready to really start something special that's going to make a difference for student athletes in the greater Hartford area and beyond.
Now, what I did was I thought about my hometown, because remember I was residing in Connecticut, and I was trying to figure out how can I add value to my community, because I took a strong liking to Marcus Garvey and Carter G. Woodson and James Allen and Napoleon Hill. And so I was trying to figure out how do I incorporate all this knowledge that I was acquiring through my studies and my literature to add value to my community. I had a conversation with Antoine.
And so I was all ears, of course, because I'm the type of person that I'm willing to always give so I can help the next young woman, young man out.
We was talking about like economic development, and we was at King Park. And there was so much land, so much space, and I'm like, wow, this is nothing but opportunity. We were talking about the crime rate and things that were going on in the community, and how if we had a program like a Supreme Athlete, this could maybe help with the crime rate and minimize the gang-related activity that were going on in our community. So it all started in that park, us training and doing like different drills to condition ourselves. But through that, Supreme Athlete was developed.
And we were able to put together some circuit-style training where there would be stations, there would be an allocated time set up, there would be different movements going on at those stations. The mentor at that station would lead and demonstrate and correct student athletes as they were going through, giving an all-out effort. And the premise behind the program, behind those workouts rather, was to make sure that within the circuit, that each athlete is given 100%, nothing less.
So attack the zone, get around, stay tight to the zone, from your arm.
And leaving nothing for chance, because these student athletes don't have anything to rely on. Most parents for these student athletes have not went to college. And so we're trying to make sure that, A, these student athletes are academically above and beyond. And as athletes, that they are superior or supreme to all their competition. So the circuits were very intense, where I was in these student athletes' faces. Snot bubbles were coming out of their nose. Sometimes you had spit flying out of a mentor's mouth. It was so intense. In fact, a lot of times we ended up hoarse from yelling and getting after it, sweating and doing the workouts with the kids. And so the intensity was very high initially, because we needed the kids to understand how serious it's going to be for you to succeed in life. The effort is going to take, because it's far bigger than sports. It was far bigger than sports. But we used the training, we used the sports to capture them, to bring them in. Because in the inner city, for the most part, for student athletes, that's what keeps us focused. That's what kept me focused. And so we had to make sure it was so intense that we blew them away, and then also kept them there with our love and sincerity.
Hold that rock. Don't give him nothing. If you don't give him nothing, get inside of him. At a freaking line, and let's go, man. Get your butt down. Get your butt down.
Because in the inner city, for the most part, for student athletes, that's what keeps us focused. That's what kept me focused. And so we had to make sure it was so intense that we blew them away, and then also kept them there with our love and sincerity.
In the video.